Welcome to another edition of the Coach Daboll Show presented by Ford. I'm Bob Papa at the Quest Diagnostics Training Center. We got a big show lined up for you. Giants return home to take on the San Francisco 49ers. Carl Banks will go to the coaches tape. Sean O'Hara goes one-on-one. Bruce Beck in the Giants locker room. But as always, we welcome in the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll, along with Carl. And Coach, obviously, we'll start with Cam Skattebo. It was a big loss for your football team. The reaction from around the National Football League, even for players that haven't played against you guys, Cam Skattebo caught a lot of people's respect, didn't he?
Yeah, he plays the game the right way, and I think a lot of people have noticed that. For a young player, he's smart, but he's tough, and he's all-day effort. He's had a very productive year for a rookie. Really, for any player, he's done a nice job, and I just think his personality within the team, and then people can see it outside the building of the type of person he is, the type of leader he is, the type of grit that he plays with, and you hate to see that for any player. We're going to miss him a lot.
Coach, fast forward into the 49ers this week. Obviously, Christian McCaffrey has been a big part of their offense. They've dealt with a myriad of injuries. They just got Kittle back. As you study them, what makes him so tough to deal with? Because they give him the ball in every possible way.
Well, he's very talented. He's fast, he's quick, he's got good vision. He can play receiver if you ask him to play receiver. They throw him the ball a bunch, they hand him the ball a bunch. He's a big part of their offense. And we're going to have to do a good job of tackling him, of covering him, of disrupting him. A lot of people will try, but he's a very productive player. He's been for a long time, and certainly a challenge to defend.
And on the other side of the ball, you've coached against Robert Saleh in multiple places. What are some of the characteristics of what your team should expect there?
Well, they play with their hair on fire, and I think that's always been a trademark of Coach Saleh's defenses. Have the opportunity to go against him a bunch, got a tremendous amount of respect, and then they take the ball away. They lead the league in takeaways in terms of getting the ball off of, whether it's quarterbacks, guys running the football, they strip the ball, turnovers, they play fast. They know what to do on defense. I wouldn't say it's overly complicated, the things that they do, but they know what to expect. They play it well, they play fast, they play hard, and they're doing a nice job.
Coach, they have what I call multiples on offense. They give you a lot of different, I don't even want to call it window dressing, because they can run plays out of a lot of the different looks that they give you, and then sometimes they don't. Communication's super important for your defense, is it?
Absolutely, and then adjustments too, relative to the motioning and the things that they do. They get out of the huddle fast and they shift, they move. Three-quarters of the time they're doing something like that. So usually what you get is probably not what you're going to get right when the ball is snapped. There's some type of movement, or they'll get up and they'll quick count, and you got to be ready for that. So, and then they got different pieces they use. They use a lot of different personnel groups. They have two good quarterbacks on their team. We'll see which one plays, both which I've had experience with, recruiting, Purdy, and then being with Mac.
Coach, they're kind of similar, aren't they? I mean, do they change their offense up that much depending on which guy's in there? Because it feels like they both have similar skill sets, how they want to attack a defense.
Yeah, I think they have a lot in their offense, and I think the quarterbacks play on time. They always have in Kyle's offense. They hit their back foot, they know where they're going, and they get the ball out and throw it on time, and the receivers and tight ends better get their heads around. There's not a lot of holding on to the ball. I'd say they're both sneaky, athletic, can make some loose plays if they need to. Again, experience watching both those guys back in college, both good football players. We'll see which one plays.
Coach, we appreciate the time as always. Thank you so much, and we'll see you in the next segment.
Thanks.
That's the head coach of the New York Giants, Brian Daboll. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, Coach and Carl will go to the auditorium for Above the X's and O's. All that and more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. Welcome back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. Sunday, it's the Giants and 49ers at MetLife Stadium legacy game as we turn back the clock to the Super Bowl 21 and 25 championship teams. Time for this week's edition of Above the X's and O's. Back to the auditorium with Carl and Coach.
Coach, big loss. Cam Skattebo, such a energizer for this entire team, and I think it's worth taking a look at just the impact plays that he's had here.
Yeah, so this was a good answer to their touchdown drive that they had late in the first quarter. We drive it down to the high red zone, and it's first down. Thought it was a good call by Mike. Philadelphia right here is in a kind of a split safety look, and they're replacing their edge rusher with an inside rusher. So we got a 5-man protection, and our 5 guys are blocking their 4 guys, and their edge rusher, who usually rushes, but in this case is exchanging responsibilities with the middle linebacker. He's got a peel on Cam, which means he's going to come off and take him man-to-man. So we're running a rail route, and he's really one-on-one. With their split safety coverage, this backside guy is kind of hanging backside to the 3-man side over here, and we were hoping to get this one-on-one, whether it was with this guy or this back right here, with an opportunity to throw it down the field to Cam. Cam does a great job of his release point of attacking his outside shoulder, and he feels him overplay it to cut him off, and he just swats him by with his right hand, gets his eyes back around. Jackson knows there's a safety up top. This is going to be a more linear throw, quick than an up and down throw down here in the red zone. And Belly does a great job of occupying 33, getting a body on a body, holding him, and there's the throw.
Coach, and I say this lovingly, he is such a contradiction of athlete, because a guy who runs as physically as he does, but yet has the finesse to, this is just not a juke move. He swims the guy back inside.
Yeah, he's been good for us in the run and the pass. He is athletic. He does have quickness. He is a powerful guy, but he's very instinctive as a football player. And again, instincts are hard to measure. You could see it and see what he did at Arizona State when he played. And then once you get him on your team, just the awareness that he has of really just playing the game of football. Like, if he does this, I do this. He doesn't run lines on the paper. He's a really good young football player.
When did you know, like, was it week one, that, okay, this guy has the capacity to handle a lot?
Yeah, once he started playing and, he got healthy and was out there at practice, he's got such good vision. He's smart, he's instinctive. And I'd say that, the relationship that our quarterback has with him, there's a lot of trust factor in that. Just on this small little detail of him flying out there, turning, and the ability to get his back foot in the ground and throw it right now, rather than maybe a little bit over the top if he goes outside. I think those 2 guys work a lot together. They have worked together. There was a lot of trust. And again, very productive guy for us when he was in the game. And, somebody we're going to have to replace. And Tracy and Motor are going to be up to the task, but we're going to miss 44.
We're just getting started on the program. When we come back, Sean O'Hara goes one-on-one with running back Tyrone Tracy. All that and more here on the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.
Welcome back to the Coach Daboll Show. We're on the field one-on-one now with Tyrone Tracy. Tyrone, thanks so much for taking the time. It's great to see you.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Year 2 for you, man.
Yeah.
Does it feel any different?
Yeah, it feels a lot different. You have the ups and downs of the season, but overall, man, I feel good. I feel healthy. Obviously, I had that little setback at the beginning of the year, but I'm back and running. I feel like myself again.
What did that do for you, though? Did that give you a different perspective and you kind of saw the game in a different manner?
Yeah, it definitely did. So when I was injured, I was on the sideline, had the headset on. I'm able to hear the coaching tips. I'm able to hear some of what they're thinking, the play calling, how the play calling changes throughout the game, depending on what's going on. We're up, if we're down.
So you listen to all that during the game. Yeah. Call comes in and what they're saying to the quarterback before it cuts out.
Yep.
All right. So obviously, tough loss against the Eagles. Cam Scadaboo goes down. I know he was a big part of your running back room. How do you guys handle that? In the running back room and as an offense?
It's next man up mentality. When one person goes down, whoever's up next, me, Motor, E-Gray, Turbo, we all got to come up and carry the load, no matter what it is, whether it's passing, running. Obviously Cam, he's more of a power back, so we got to somehow still, have that, part of our game, for the coaching staff, just really all of us do it somehow, some way, whether it's running hard or, trying to run somebody over, but also just doing that while maintaining being ourselves.
You mentioned that Cam is more of a power runner, kind of downhill, gap scheme kind of guy.
Yeah.
So does that mean you're kind of more of a zone, kind of you like this kind of press the hole a little bit more?
Yeah. So my game, I like to call it like a slasher.
Yeah.
So like I said, Cam is more of a power, run into you. I'm more of a like make you miss, like 1-2 step, cut, whatever it may be.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you're talking about seeing things because I feel like your vision is what makes you a great slasher.
Yeah.
So take me through pre-snap. All right, you're reading the defense. You're looking at the defense. What are your keys?
Yeah, it's kind of like controlling puppets. If you just understanding like how the human body is, if I'm running this way, your instincts is going to make you run that way.
I like
Then
it.
I'm just going to cut back behind you. And most of the time, I ain't gonna say every time, but my goal is to get about 4 yards. I think 4 yards is a really efficient play in the NFL. If you can get 4 yards, whether it's first, second down, whatever it may be, like and get 4 yards, that's a really efficient play. I think the coach staff will love that. I would love that. They will. And it'll also make them want to run the ball again if you can get 4 yards every play.
Tyrone, thanks so much for the time, man.
Oh, yeah, I appreciate it.
Good luck this
Appreciate
weekend.
it. It's going to be a great time.
All right, appreciate it. We've got a lot more to come right here on the Coach Daboll Show. But before we go to break, I want to show you this special video. The Giants rookie class visited the Children's Hospital at the Hackensack University Medical Center.
Hi.
How are you? Good to see you.
We're at the Joseph M. Censari's Children's Hospital here in Hackensack, and got to see all the kids, meet them, and it's been great. It's right around Halloween time with my Superman costume. I like this. This is sweet. Is it comfy?
Hey guys. I don't think it's gonna be. We need 7 pairs. We need 1 for each eyeball.
It's kind of eye-opening, you see people that go through different things that you normally don't think about every day, or maybe you haven't experienced personally. So you can tell kids are fighting and they're going through something I've never experienced. So I'm proud of them for that, and I respect them for that.
Give me some. How we doing? Who is this? Do you know who this is?
Rigri.
Nice.
You like it?
So this yearly event that we have is something so special. Having these players who they look up to, they watch every Sunday, come in and just talk to them like they're normal is life-changing. This is just something that they're gonna remember for the rest of their life and really help them get through the hard days that they have here.
Oh yeah.
Let's go. Yeah. Let's go. The Night Fury. There we go. We gotta get you out to a game. That'd be awesome. Or come by the practice facility and see all that stuff. That'd be sweet. Yeah. That's inspiring. Sometimes as athletes, we lose a game and it's demoralizing, it's crushing, and then you have this perspective, being able to come back and see these kids and just have, see their smiles on their faces, definitely just brings a ton of joy and light, and, definitely makes you feel, a warming feeling when you're able to be around them. Yeah. Nice. Nice.
Welcome back to the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford. You think of the Giants and Niners, you think of a great rivalry. Both of the teams are coming off a loss from last week. For more on what's going on in the Giants locker room, here's Bruce Beck.
Bob, we're inside the locker room, and the challenges continue for the New York Football Giants. Up next, the San Francisco 49ers, led by Christian McCaffrey, who could do everything, and a formidable defense. Still, the Giants are ready.
The biggest thing that stood out to me initially, just, obviously early week watching tape, is ball disruption, creating turnovers. 2 or 3 games were won for them off of on the defensive side, punching the ball late at the end of the games to seal games. So they're ball disruptors. They fly around. They've been banged up a little bit with injuries, but they play really hard and they play physical and fast. So it's going to be a really good challenge for us.
I would say they're very fast. They run downhill, and then they're very physical. They play with a lot of energy as well. So I think that, for our offense to go out there and just to execute and play well, I think we have to make them, really raise their energy to us, not us, raise our energy to compare to them. So when we go out there on Sunday, we have to go out there and make sure that we want to play our A game, and then also that no matter how fast or how physical they're playing, we're always a step ahead of them, no matter what it is.
I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing to get ready to beat the 49ers and help us get a win.
It's a classic week for a rivalry game. East Coast, West Coast, Giants, 49ers. Back to you, Bob.
Thanks, Bruce. Now it's time for this week's edition of Strategy, presented by Microsoft Copilot. Carl Banks, we're going to take a look at some of the coaches' tape. And Christian McCaffrey is being worked. He's got over 1,000 scrimmage yards. He's got 3 rushing touchdowns, 3 receiving touchdowns, and he's as dynamic as ever.
Well, he is. And I'm just going to circle him, and then I'll let you watch what happens here. It's a well-coordinated offense, Bob. And what it's going to take defensively for the Giants is communication and awareness, but it's called gap sound also. You have to be gap sound. And when I say that, they bring a tight end in. This young man will come all the way in and block the linebacker. He should never be able to come in and seal, but just take a look at your tight end here. He comes in and seals the linebacker. He comes from all the way across the formation, seals the linebacker. When I talk about gap sound, you cannot let someone come all the way across the formation and seal you out. You've got to be in a gap here so that everything is distributed the right way. But because he allows himself to get blocked, McCaffrey's through, and it's a well-designed, well-blocked play, but defensively, you've got to know what your responsibilities are too.
All right, we're going to take a look at some more Christian in action, and he has really been the bell cow for the 49ers this year, especially with all the injuries that they've dealt with as a football team.
Yeah, and Bob, so one of the things that San Francisco does well is they will give you a lot of window dressing, a lot of disguises. You'll notice Christian McCaffrey stays in the backfield, but he ends up being a slot receiver right here. Just take a look. They'll give you a lot of motion and shifts, okay? So if I freeze it right here, if you're defense and you got a slot receiver here, you're going to say alert for screen, which that could very easily show up. But now they run the slot across the formation. McCaffrey is still in the backfield, but the slot is over here now. So you have to be aware he's not going to run the ball from here. So he's going to somehow become a second slot receiver out of the backfield. Recognition is really important, and there he is. He's a great route runner. He runs a post right in there, and they hit him with it. So a lot of different disguises and a lot of ways to get him the football.
Meanwhile, George Kittle scored a touchdown in the first game of the season, then went out with a hamstring injury. He's finally back. And when he's back in action, Carl, he makes this offense just a lot better.
Yeah, and this is basically a bunch concept when you've got Kittle is basically going to be a rub route, and he's going to just run out to the flat. But it's a bunch concept that's detached. They've seen this from Kansas City, run a little differently. So your motion guy comes in, he pulls a guy, this guy pulls a guy, and he's out in the flat. Well-designed play. They pull everybody in, and safety can't come out to get them before the first down. But you have to treat this, if you're in either man or zone, you're going to have to communicate it, because you're looking at this, and once that motion starts and he gets inside the numbers, something's coming across the field and something's going back out in the flat to replace it. Kittle's there. He's not in his three-point stance. All the little things you got to pay attention to. He's not down in his stance, so he's going to get out and run a route.
Now, they've lost Fred Warner, who's an all-pro middle linebacker. Nick Bosa went out early in the year. Carl, they got to do it with different players.
Right, and the thing about this defense, it's not that it's complicated, it's that they play hard, they play fast, and they're very disciplined. There's no doubt that there's a blitz coming, right? They're showing it. They're saying, we're coming, block us. The guy who's not in threatening the blitz is this guy right here. You can look at him. He's looking for his coverage right before the snap. Okay, so you get all your guys blocked up there, your opportunity is right here if you're the quarterback. You've got to make sure you identify the guys that are going to be blitzing, and then you've got to find the guy in coverage and take advantage of it. But if you don't get them blocked up, you see your quarterback's on the ground before the ball's even out.
And, Carl, that goes to show, if you just go back there and watch Huff, the reason why he had double-digit sacks with the Jets, right? He starts in a 4-point stance, and to show his athleticism and quickness, look how quickly he just darts to the inside.
Yeah, just goes right inside and shoots the gap.
All right, that's a look at strategy with Carl Banks as we get you set for the Giants and the 49ers. And, Carl, when you look at this football game, obviously now no Scadaboo, more load on Tracy in this football game, Tyrone Tracy. The Giants have to stay committed to the run, though, against this Niners team.
Well, the key for this Giant team, and it's always been how they've been able to have success, is utilizing their tight ends, both run and pass. They're excellent blockers. They stay on schedule when they can run the football. And listen, the 49ers know that. Everybody in the league knows it. But you get your 3, you get your 4 on first down, then you have an opportunity to really start to get your offense on track.
Will they disguise a lot of stuff defensively for Jackson Dart as a rookie?
Well, he's been pretty good at reading those disguises. I mean, he played a very tough defense 2 weeks ago in Denver, and they were the masters of disguise. So I think he's adept to what to expect based on certain keys, and he's done a good job of preparing.
All right, this week's game is presented by Quest Diagnostics, a proud partner in health of the New York Giants. So for Carl Banks, Bruce Beck, Coach Daboll, Sean O'Hara, and our entire crew, I'm Bob Papa. Thanks for joining us for this edition of the Coach Daboll Show, presented by Ford.